Hello everyone, my name is Chelsea Rawls and this is my presentation on the subject of servant leadership. During this presentation I will talk about the man behind the whole movement, several definitions on the subject, what qualities are important to make a great servant leader, the relevance of this leadership style in today's work environment and the companies that employ it, along with several historical figures that have used servant leadership, and finally how this leadership model fits into the Health Information Management Department. How does a great leader lead? Does a great leader lead by control, strength, or example? Questioning the qualities that make a great leader great has always been a debate. Robert K. Greenleaf answered the debate with a theory that truly great leaders are motivated by a passion to help others, not by a self-desire to increase their money, power, or prestige. Greenleaf believed that there is a need for a better leadership model, a model that puts serving others first, whether it's employees, customers, or the community, as the number one priority. Robert Greenleaf was born in 1904 and died in 1990. Throughout his long life, he worked a variety of jobs. He was a Quaker with a strong contemplative orientation. He was also the Director of Management Research at AT&T for over 38 years. However, he is best known for being the founder of the modern servant leadership theory. Servant leadership has been defined by many different people and organizations, but always means the same thing. The Greenleaf organization that was started by Robert Greenleaf himself defines this theory as the servant leader is servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first. Then conscious choice brings one to aspire to lead. That person is sharply different from one who is a leader first, perhaps because of the need to assuage an unusual power drive or to acquire material possessions. The leader first and the servant first are two extreme types. Between them, there are shadings and blends that are part of the infinite variety of human nature. There is also a definition of the servant leadership in our textbook, Health Information Management, Concepts, Principles, and Practice by Latour and Eckenwald-Mackey. Latour defines it as, servant leaders are those who put the needs, interests, and aspirations of others above their own, involve others in decision-making, is strongly based in ethical and caring behavior, and it enhances the personal growth of workers while improving the caring and quality of organizational life. Servant leaders have to have certain assets on which to become servant leaders, and these assets are built upon 10 characteristics. These 10 characteristics are listening, empathy, healing, awareness, persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, stewardship, commitment to growth of people, and building community. The first of these defining characteristics is listening. Listening is a critical communication tool necessary for accurate communication and for actively demonstrating respect for others. The manager of a Health Information Management Department needs to be able to listen to what his or her employees need to say. The second of these defining characteristics is empathy. Empathy is the ability to mentally project one's own conscience into that of another individual. The Health Information Management Manager needs to empathize with employees in an attempt to understand what they are wanting or needing. The third of these defining characteristics is healing, which is to make whole. The manager of the Health Information Management Department needs to be able to make the entire department whole, as this will help them to better understand the goings-on in the department. The fourth of these defining characteristics is awareness. Without awareness, we miss leadership opportunities. The Health Information Manager needs to be aware of what is going on throughout the department, along with being aware of any sensitive issues that there may be. The fifth of these defining characteristics is persuasion, which is the effective servant leader builds group consensus through gentle but clear and persistent persuasion and does not exert group compliance through the position of power. The Health Information Management Manager needs to be able to persuade the department as a way to be able to make decisions and be an authority figure for all. The sixth of these defining characteristics is conceptualization or vision, which is to conceive solutions to problems that do not currently exist. The manager of a health information management department needs to be able to plan for the future and have a vision or goal for what the future may hold. The seventh of these defining characteristics is foresight, which is a better than average guess about what is going to happen in the future. This characteristic builds off of conceptualization, defining characteristic number 6. Health information management managers need to be able to see what could be a likely outcome for a situation that may have occurred before in the past, as well as anticipate the realities of the present and any unseen consequences in the future. Defining characteristic number 8 is stewardship, which is organizational stewards or trustees are concerned not only for the individual followers within the group, but also the organization as a whole and its impact on the relationship with all of society. The health information manager needs to be able to hold the main goal of the department above their own personal goals. Defining characteristic number 9 is commitment to the growth of people, which is a demonstrated appreciation and encouragement for others. The health information manager needs to be able to dedicate ample time and energy to the overall well-being of the employees in the department as well as any individuals they may serve. The last of these characteristics, characteristic number 10, is community building. The rise of large institutions has eroded community, the social pact that reunites individuals in the society. The health information management manager needs to be able to provide a work environment that is full of people that are diverse in nature, but all strive to fulfill the same goal. Servant leadership is a leadership theory that is very relevant and important in today's work environment. It is a very admirable quality for a manager to have. Managers use it to keep their employees involved in their jobs and the overall goal of the company. Although it is not always thought about, managers have a very profound effect on the lives of the employees that work for them. The way a manager treats his or her employees is reflected in the job they perform, as in productivity, as well as the overall morale of the employees. There are several different industries that utilize this kind of leadership style. The main ones are for-profit businesses like Chick-fil-A and Darden restaurants, not-for-profit organizations such as the Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership, government entities like the United States Air Force, United States Army, United States Marine Corps, and the United States Navy. Churches and universities, such as Vanderbilt University, also utilize this leadership theory, as well as foundations such as the Evergreen Freedom Foundation. As good as this theory might sound, there is quite a bit of criticism that comes along with a number of challenges that servant leaders might face. There are some secular and non-faith-based groups that may not be receptive to its religious nature. Most of the concepts that are associated with this are not well defined and are difficult to measure, along with the fact that this theory's popularity exceeds any evidence that may back it up. It also may or may not account for all aspects that come along with leadership. Finally, it is unclear how this concept will work in a competitive or crisis-like environment. However, even though there is quite a bit of criticism, there is some strength to back servant leadership up. It is compatible with the current values in faith-based areas in most people's lives. There is some evidence of its success within important organizations. There are some sought-after and desirable aspects to this theory that are a nice change of pace in this postmodern environment with which we all live. The main strength in this is that it changes up what most people think of leadership by changing what it means to serve others. Servant leadership has grown into be a very respected leadership theory. There are quite a few famous people that have adopted, embraced, and practiced servant leadership. Martin Luther King Jr. may be one of the most famous. He is what many people consider a true servant leader. He believed with all of his heart in the cause that he stood for, that he wanted better for all people, not just himself. He directed and led his followers to something that had once been thought to be unattainable. He made the ultimate sacrifice for what he believed in, and because of him and his leadership and guidance, the world has forever been changed. Another example of servant leaders is Abraham Lincoln. His servant leadership is very similar to that of Martin Luther King Jr., in that he was seeking to free African Americans and give them a new lease on life. He spoke to many people and taught them to see that the way things were done was not the way they should be, and that change was needed immediately. Lincoln's leadership was about 100 years before Martin Luther King Jr., yet they both believed in the same greatness. Finally, Mother Teresa is an excellent example of a servant leader. She was a highly respected leader for the missionaries of charity and is best known for her incredible humility, courage, thoughtlessness, and compassion towards others that were less fortunate than herself. Some of the top companies in the United States use servant leadership in their everyday routine. Some of the better-known companies include Southwest Airlines, Men's Warehouse, ServiceMaster, American Family Life Insurance, also known as Aflac, and Medtronic. The lesser-known of these companies, however, not any less important, include TD Industries, Toro Company, REI or Recreational Equipment Incorporated, Wegmans, Herman Miller, Landry's Bicycles, and Synovus. Servant leadership is a leadership theory that would apply very nicely in the Health Information Department. The manager or managers of the department need to have input from employees and receive any productive ideas from them as well. The Health Information Management Department is essential in the function of a hospital, physician's office, clinic, or any other healthcare facility that the employees need to be managed with the kind of leadership that allows them to have ideas and express them, and to have a management staff that will listen to them and take their input into consideration, not just tell them how to do things and what is considered right and wrong. In conclusion, servant leadership is a leadership practice that is based on the belief that employees should be held as equals and they should have say and input into the organizations they are working for. There is some criticism that comes along with this leadership model, but there is also many good strong points that vouch for it as well. Many well-known industries and companies practice servant leadership and have great success. There are also many influential figures throughout history that have used it and have each made their own impact on society and have in some way or another changed lives forever. Every single person out there has the ability to become a servant leader if given the opportunity. Always remember, servant leaders are leaders second and servants first.